Hello, Gloria Burgess, CNN. The FBI has been recorded. They self-recorded themselves, confirming they're involved with racketeering since their inception. Now, see, they were racketeering acts with the other branches of government right through administrations. There are a whole bunch of FBI people tied to and as former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, who were criminally involved with him leading up to and in a 2006 case. These are the same people in Connecticut, district court case. His federal criminal code defendants and their family members are a whole bunch of people involved with racketeering acts with houses in my area used by FBI, CIA, state police, but they're owners, they're victim predators because everyone's putting in fake things into writing. And then there's sequence shifting and they're lying about behavior because these are predators with guns and with bug spray where they're preventing counters peaceful. They're preventing peaceful counters. They're recorded lying about our behavior. And like, in other words, they're attaching us to fake behavior. And this is a racketeering method because they have interbranch will just ignore you and write fake things in databases. These are sick, highly sick people associated with New Britain Superior Court through time, crimes with child sex offenders. Further, female judges roles with it. People on and off the state judicial branch offices. A whole bunch of people with AT&T and with a Fienza family and with on and off with WFSB racketeering acts. And these are people with racketeering acts roles and roles on off Fox Connecticut News and the buildings around them, like downtown Hartford, the buildings around WFSB, like in Rocky Hill, all along the route that goes by the state judicial um, building. There are people all the way from there to Cromwell on that route, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved racketeering with the judges, with their police forms, with their family members criminally involved, with prosecutors criminally involved, with state's attorneys criminally involved. A victim's advocates involved with fact-cheating nature racketeering methods and tricks that are preventing free speech through lifetimes and put in roles with child defenders, putting people in fake locations, fake communications with others. These are false, all kinds of mail crimes, wire crimes. You guys say, "Oh, why don't you just get help?" People can't get help because they know. In other words, the Weathersfield police are with the FBI and with other agencies and military, foreign and domestic, recorded themselves, pretending things are recorded into their phone conversations, into their physical conversations, including with New Britain Superior Court, fake recorded things into records. We have really through time a whole bunch of people with my street involved with these courts involved and with the AT&T clicks criminally involved. Chris Walters, a Spada family, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with their neighbors also involved with judges and doctors, foreign and domestic, involved with child sex offenders, and with the state with extended family members of a person who came into my grammar school when I was in fourth grade. I had no class with him in grammar school. But no, his extended family members are further involved with a whole bunch of people on and off to Red Highway with like a South Saviello, a house across the street from him, a Fienza family, and Eric Jensen, all a whole bunch of people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated federal crimes with federal criminal code defendants of Robert Luskin in a 2006 case and leading up to it. And these are the people involved further with police from my town's police chief has his daughter involved and has his extended family member involved with the principal sex offenders campus. And a principal, when I was there years ago, his daughter's with the class there, but I didn't know he had a daughter when I was a kid. And she's still involved with her kid and with her past boyfriend and his friends and with her new husband involved with racketeering at CCSU and other campuses, like with the English department at CCSU. And this guy is supposedly related to Johnny Duke, which other people like a Joe Aiello and a DeMoro family, other people, a Kerr family. I don't know if the Kerr family is one of the ones on and off Trinity College, but there are people with Trinity College who are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with him with uses of corners all along Maple Street that goes by the state judicial branch offices. These are people crimes with state police and with Weathersfield police through time with other police forms and military, foreign and domestic. We have a Kovinskis family, also I don't know his wife's name. She's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with them with database racketeering through time. Drugs racketeering tied to that. See, they're preventing people of free speech. These are right through administrations. They have the word um, racism they use. For example, they use the same crime method sickly distinctly on suburbs and on urban areas with the same ones involved with this. Now, the Weathersfield Pizza is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated also involved with inter WTNH, WFSB. I mean, they didn't use these words. They demonstrated their sequence racketeering evidence crimes. WFSB, Fox Connecticut News, WTNH, and with people on and off the state judicial branch offices, and with the reports of a shooting with that area, because those are also people crimes with shared policing of other nations, training them like with acting departments and things like that. These are, in other words, there's a Stephen Stock who also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated fake conversations with me. And he's involved with wire crimes with Weathersfield police and with state police and foreign and domestic families and drug cliques. The Stephen Stocko, he's also involved with the cliques in my area and intercity involved. You know, in other words, also all along that route, the, from so in other words, these are people I had. In other words, Stephen Stocko. I called up the Weathersfield people. He hung up with me. I never had a conversation with him before that. Before we even talked, he hung up, and then he called the police. They're playing games like that because they have his wife and they have a whole bunch of her boyfriends retired and still. I mean, a whole bunch of her boyfriends, intimate and other. And she's one of the ones involved with the on-off two-route highway where it goes into Hang Dog Lane, no, and where it goes into the Berlin Turnpike before the heart of Hartford. Whole bunch of people with them also crimes with those other streets. You know, uses of them by falsified police reports rolls, all kinds of fake things, wire crime rolls, people associated with AT&T. Now, these are people all also wire crime rolls and uses of the FBI where they're going to defend their identity and then they're going to be lying about who calls up. They're going to be lying about who they need to help. Then they're going to need to pretend to be positive anyway. They're going to appreciate fake care, like going after being angry against racism. That's such a fake thing. You don't see because you guys are insulated. They have Facebook also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with our FBI with the Russians involved criminally. We have a Tom Peruta and have his neighbors recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with crimes with people at CCSU and Trinity College with Russians and with fire departments, Weathersfield Fire Department, West Hartford's fire department. There are murders reported, confessed, and demonstrated, real or made up in West Hartford and Farmington. There's one the other day reported. Those and see they have guys with military walking around. There's an Eric Burgess. He's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. Him and his family were coached to make things up and to hide things. These are people also leading up to this Trade Center attack context in it involved with predicate acts, mail crimes, wire crimes, falsified police reports, identity thefts, attaching me to fake locations. I never saw Eric Burgess on the campus of CCSU in my life. They're recorded raising training the state police, criminally foreign influenced. These are the people involved. There's a Lieutenant Vance with the state police. They have retired and standing state police with WFSB and with their location used through time. There's an Eric a Mark Violet and Mike Violet, and there's some guy with a bunch of people named Joe and associated with that Rockdale Athletic Center originally and through, and there's a Weathersfield Athletic Center too, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated by Dr. Shub of Modern Languages involved with a whole bunch of other nations criminally with this. In other words, we have all these problems because we have drug heads as doctors associated with that, like a whole Leahy family with Hartford Hospital, doctors of psychology, men and women and their family and other families tied to them, are crimes with judges of various natures of courts, drugs, fake conversations with me, mail crimes, wire crimes, They won't give an answer. The in other words, the news attach me to fake locations, fake sequences, and fake conversations with them too, and put that in the media. So if you call to have that corrected, they won't do it. These are people reliant upon criminally foreign influenced organized crime countering bodies originally still. Now these are people keeping this is being used as this is being the kept outcome because of their uses of all the identity of ground relationships. So you see the facade of businesses, even though we have machines, everything now, we're still the pathology of infrastructure with the homes that were forced with zoning laws used for the torture of and the fact cheating nature slavery of our founders, worse than unsafe conditions, even forced glorified now so no one picks it out. Because this is a vertical and horizontal organized crime racketeering method that forces roles formally, originally, and still, or prevents your free speech and worse. We must all rehearse. So WFSB, Fox Connecticut News also recorded confessed they're being coached to hide the lie progressions tied to that. And now the judges are forging and switching names to sequence too. And that's with all the state's attorneys doing stuff like that. So we can't get a response. They're forcing everyone to speak through other people, and they're lying about that too. So they're starting fights with people, and people want to just go on with their lives and make positive out of negative. They also have experts on logic here recording physical delusions wrought and exploiting how our nature actually works with positive and negative. See, we have physical delusions and criminal foreign influence with the experts on that, not by accident. And these are various natures of courts and their family members already invested, stuck, criminally foreign influence. So they're in the background plotting and directing people to wire crime rolls, mail crime rolls, and to stack more and more illusions, more and more torture, more and more prevention of free speech offensively. WFSB, Fox Connecticut News, has recorded, confessed, and demonstrated crimes with judges and with police forms stealing people's words so they can't have free speech, and they're attaching them stuck that way because they're attaching them to fake lies. And way worse. Let's all rehearse. There were a whole bunch. There's a Dr. Zeman. I never had a conversation in my life. He talked to me though. He said things to me. I told him no. I just said like, and in other words, he's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved crimes with doctors with psychology who are crimes with child sex offenders since before they got caught, and further ones and further involved with them, like this Dr. Zeman. He's also crimes with his patients and criminals with various natures of courts, and with this Leahy family, and with foreign and domestic doctors of psychology, like with Pakistan, also involved with the whole bunch of people on and off mobile gas stations on Weathersfield. Now there's a Rob Schedule and his sister and their family. I never had a conversation with them. She tried to pretend they probably filmed that. They do that. They try to pretend things filmed. There's a house, and it's almost summer in here. They have a house on Meadowgate with Christmas lights on, because these are people involved, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated racketeering uses of Weathersfield High School, CCSU, Trinity College, intercity schools through time tied to this. No, sequence racketeering. So there are proofs that the police forms involved pretend to perceive things, like they'll film something, and then the other police department or judge will try to pretend or prosecute. Prosecutors are also involved here with their family members criminally involved. There's a Brian Silva. I never had a conversation with in my life. There are other prosecutors like a Soulsby. There are long-standing, more newer prosecutors from my town. Again, on and off the state judicial branch offices, on and off the state prison offices, through time involved with database racketeering and with the houses next to those locations and uses of that. Because these are people trying to pretend to perceive things and pretend to record things in the databases. They're preventing mandated law through administrations. The Obama administration and earlier administrations, and this one is being forced to entertain criminally foreign influenced used criminally foreign influenced FBI, CIA, and no let counters to that. The AT&T is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with all kinds of election crimes. We have also mayors retired and standing, and that have the Weathersfield town offices Weathersfield Parks have on and off the community center recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved criminally. Now these are people with the businesses, the clubs, the shared policing of the clubs downtown Hartford, next to Fox Connecticut News, also recorded, confessed crimes with the locations next to them, like the building next to them, like the parking garage next to them. Now there's a Thaddeus Grabowski. There's a two Mendez brothers, two Domain brothers. They're family members. They're friends. Their roles with owners of a Club Blue, which is now a different name of a club, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with agencies with racketeering, foreign and domestic, overt criminal enterprises, downtown Hartford. Not just undercover. These are racketeering with mail crimes, wire crimes, identity theft, identity fraud, identity racketeering, property theft, including intellectual. Whole bunch of people with Two Rod Highway and Hangdog Lane, Borough Turnpike recorded, confessed, and demonstrated drug crime rules and crimes with this Leahy family that attached me to fake conversations with them as the doctors. Now we have a fucking problem. CNN, excuse my language, but I need a response because they're attaching everyone to fake conversations. And if you try to speak calm, they're just going to attach you, make more and more natures of federal crimes and federal criminals with their family members also lying about you. They don't even know you now. Oh, that's the guy who told. So put something on paper. They won't put anything on paper. And they're criminally lying about that. They have to lie about that now because the exceptions is them recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. They put falsified police reports. They confessed that, recorded, and demonstrated that. Then they never let you to speak. The whole time they're attaching you to fake words. We have really sick state's attorneys. We have really sick shared policing at CCSU and of criminal justice. We have a whole bunch of people with Sandy Hook, Newtown, further recorded and confessed and demonstrated involved with a whole bunch of natures of racketeering, mail crime, wire crime, drug crime rules, and with child sex offenders. And you don't think there's a fucking problem? Excuse my language. You don't think there's a problem? You guys hiding from people trying to make police reports and discrediting them by making things up and relying upon vertically and horizontally stacked databases, horizontally where people are speaking, vertically where they're doing that, sticking fake things into databases. A Gold family, former Mayor Gold, his neighbors then and demonstrably now recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with him and with his family also with forensics labs, clicks with state police and with the FBI criminally through time, through administrations, with the transition from ACA to RICO, Organized Crime Control Act to the Racketeering Influence Corrupt Organization Act. So CNN, you guys are crimes with election crimes, crimes against uses of color that are criminally against Barack Obama, pretending to be against it by pretending to be against racism. You were former director, former chairperson of RICO Law, Robert Luskin, former director of the FBI, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated as one of the defendants who had criminality with that case. That is crimes with you guys here against the kids. All you have to do to stop your crime acts rolls, for example, it is follow mandated law, fix the fake news crime acts. Fake news racketeering acts of WFSB and of Fox Connecticut News and WTNH, note right around the corner from the FBI. And it's all right. You guys have opinions. Don't pretend that you don't realize those opinions currently foreign influence originally instilled. We need American history told. And we need it. It's not about racism. It's about an organized crime, breaching control, breaching racketeering method, using human fact-checking nature, using fake science, using sequence shifts, using identity racketeering. So don't make us beg. They're recorded interbranch using wire crime methods, lie about what's actually recorded over the phone to the police. That's evidence. Excuse my voice. I need a response. I don't have fucking time. Excuse my language. I asked you nice many times. They use Facebook, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated is critical to their roles with lipoaggressions and with identity thefts, identity racketeering. These are people crimes using Facebook with child sex offenders. Now there's a real fucking problem for those doctors. Excuse my language, but I'm going to reach in and delineate the delusions of their souls from the criminal foreign influences as actually recorded, and them forging names, switching names, faking fake conversations with me. I want the judges of the various natures of courts for them to pick one name in sequence. You coward punks. That's recorded. It's nothing personal. I asked you guys nice. They're attaching me to fake recorded things, fake conversations with them. These are sick delusions, raw predators originally and still. That's what did slavery. They're criminal foreign influence. They're victim predator physical delusions too. These are sick opinion natures of opinions, not science. Science reveals evolution. It's fruits and gifts instant. It doesn't leave out the ground, especially tactically denatured. See the north end of Harvard. See. We'll come to this.